G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Bitcoin update. Today we're going to talk about a few things on the short term, on the daily time frame, on the weekly time frame, and then we're actually going to go into gold and the total cryptocurrency market cap and the DXY charts, all of which is going to help us come to a conclusion about where the short term, medium term price action is going. We're very familiar with the long term at this point. The long term looks very good. We've discussed this over and over and over again, and so for that reason I'm going to leave it out in this video, but I think the long term looks great. So long as we're above 25.2k, the bottom of the screen zone, the long term's in a perfect position. The macro looks excellent. We've had deviations from the S&P 500, deviations from the Nasdaq, correlations to gold. Excellent stuff, macro scale. And if you disagree with that, you can go and watch some of my previous videos. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about the long term. So it doesn't really matter what you agree with or disagree with in the macro. Today, we're talking about short term, medium term price action. And ultimately, what's happened in the last few days here on Bitcoin is we had a lot of triangle formations, a lot of little things breaking upside and downside. The last video I made on Bitcoin, these dotted yellow lines were the lines we were looking at. We actually broke that triangle to the downside. We went downwards. We reached our target of 28.6k. We also broke the RSI dotted line to the downside, but we didn't go quite as low as maybe we thought we would. I mean, we did reach our first target, but we didn't actually go all the way down to the bottom of this pink line here. As you guys know, although it's hard to identify right now because there's a lot of messiness in the short-term charts, I ultimately think that Bitcoin is in some sort of bullish pennant formation. And a bullish pennant formation is essentially when you see the price action move upwards, all right, and then go into a triangular formation, consolidate within the triangle, and then move upwards again. That's what a bullish pennant essentially is, and that's basically what I think Bitcoin is doing. Now, although it's hard to identify where exactly that pennant is based on the recent fake outs we've seen, overall, we can kind of identify that it is a vague triangle formation, it is a vague pattern of consolidation, and at the very least, there is an uptrending support line here in pink, and so so long as we're above that pink uptrending support line, which currently is sitting at around 27k on the dot, roughly 27.1k maybe. So long as we're above that, we're actually in a pretty decent position, even in the short-term time frame, even in the medium-term time frame. So not too bad on Bitcoin. I suppose what we can look at now is the fact that the most identifiable triangle within the triangle we're seeing is probably this solid yellow triangle. That's probably the cleanest one, the most valid one that I've happened to identify. And so that solid yellow triangle is actually coming to an apex at around the 15th of May, okay? And the 15th of May, of course, is around 8 days away. So within the next week, 8 days away, let's say a week, within the next week, Bitcoin is reaching an apex and it will be moving probably to the upside, okay? It could move to the downside, in which case it'd retest this pink line here, possibly hold that for support and then bounce. But the point is, overall, at this point in time, I actually don't see any real reason to be overly bearish in the short term or medium term either. I think that although, yes, we're seeing some, pretty extensive consolidation in this high region, we did the exact same thing over here. And we saw a correction, right? And then we went upwards again. So perhaps we'll do the same thing. Perhaps we'll see a little correction down to 25.2k, go upwards again. The point of the matter is, even medium short term doesn't look particularly bad. Long term certainly doesn't look bad. I don't think Bitcoin's in a position to be worried about at all. Now, I wish I could give you a clear answer of where I think Bitcoin's going exactly in the short term, but it's quite hard to say. But what I will say is this, right? If you want to look for yourself on the charts, which you should be doing, right? If you're watching these videos, you probably know enough about TA to start doing it yourself, right? So what I would say is that if you want to watch something, go ahead and draw up this lower yellow line here. This yellow line stemming from this week on the 25th of April, going through to this week on the 2nd of May, going through to this week on the 6th of May, right? And draw in this RSI line that matches that line, okay? You can see the RSI line matches the line we see on the price chart. If that line breaks to the downside, that is a very simple, very easy short position that will take you down to the pink line at 27k. And you can make some good money on there. That's a textbook trade. That really is textbook. RSI line validates the price line, take the trade down to 27k, and that's an easy trade. And this is a great example, right? It's a really good example, actually, because this is what I do. I'm a trader. I actually genuinely don't really care where Bitcoin goes. So long as it's not dead, I don't care where it goes, okay? And I don't really need to make predictions about where it's going next right now, because I've identified that if it does this thing, which is not certain to happen, but it could do, right? It doesn't matter what my prediction is for the short term. If it does that, I can make a profitable trade down to this pink line. So it doesn't matter if I predict for that to happen. It doesn't matter if I think it's likely or not. The fact of the matter is, it's a scenario that could happen. And on the occurrence that it does happen, I make money. What's more important, making money or being correct about a prediction? Making money is clearly more important. And sometimes predictions aren't easy to make. And that's why I don't make predictions in every video. But in every video, I give you useful information of how to trade something. Same thing could be said about the upside, okay? what we have here on Bitcoin, on the upside, although it's less valid because there's less retests, we have a downtrending line on the RSI. It's not valid yet. It hasn't seen 3 retests, but it could be valid in the future. That's something to keep an eye on. And we have a downtrending solid yellow line stemming back here from, when is that exactly? Let's go ahead and see. The 15th of April, going through to these candle closes, going through to a few weeks over here. And if we break back to the upside, you know, with a confirmed close, because we have seen fake outs above it, guess what? I'll probably take a trade, and I'll take that trade up to 30,600, okay? So now what I've got on the screen is I've got 2 scenarios, both of which are profitable. Yes, for long scenarios, less likely to play out in my favor, but it still is likely. 2 scenarios, both of which are profitable. What's the point of me making a prediction? I make money regardless. That's how you should be trading. That's how you should be analyzing charts. And that's the thing that a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, and a lot of rookies and amateurs in the market don't understand. You don't need to be making predictions constantly. You should be setting up trades constantly. 2 very different things. See, a prediction that I've made is that I think the Bitcoin bottom is in, and that's based on the data. But I'm not happy to make a prediction. I don't feel comfortable to make a prediction about the short-term charts right here. I think they're too messy. I don't think it's clear enough. So why would I? Why wouldn't I just make scenarios instead of predictions and make money regardless? Money making is what's important. That's why we trade in the market. We don't trade in the market to be correct. We trade to make money. So that's an important little note for you guys there. But ultimately, you know, if you wanted to make a prediction, I'll make you a prediction right now. The prediction is Bitcoin will be breaking upside or downside by the 15th of May. If it breaks the upside, it will go upwards to this region here, test for resistance. And if it breaks the downside, it will test the pink line for support. That's a prediction. There you go. So that's what you should be looking at for Bitcoin. If you don't care about trading, you're just looking for long-term market analysis, 15th of May is the apex. That's when we'll make a move by. You know, as for the weekly chart, 16 hours until the weekly candle close, what we have seen on weekly chart is the Gaussian channel be very, very, very important. As you can see just by looking at the screen here, every time we move into the Gaussian channel from the downside, we move through it from the upside. Sorry, we move through it to the downside. Every time we move in it from the downside, we move through it to the upside. Basically, whenever we enter the Gaussian channel, the direction of which we enter it from is followed through, and we go down below it or we go up above it. And right now, we've followed through. We've gone into it right from the downside. And if history has anything to say for it, I think with one exception out of like 10, we should be moving through it to the upside as well. So that's probably what will be happening. Not like that line I just drew, that's incredibly bullish for no reason, but I'm just saying we should, generally speaking, be moving to the upside through that line, that Gaussian channel. So I think, yeah, that's another reason to be confident about the macro. As for the weekly chart, if you wanted to look for a weekly candle close above a certain region, 28.6K would be the region you're looking at. So long as we get a weekly candle close above 28.6K, we're still in a very, very, very good position. And even if we don't, we're still in a good position regardless, because we wouldn't have had the breakdowns justified to validate being bearish yet. But, you know, 28.6K above that weekly candle close would be good. And that's in 16 hours. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll update you on that one tomorrow. DXY is one thing I'm slightly concerned about. DXY doesn't really look particularly good for Bitcoin. As you guys know, DXY and Bitcoin are reverse correlated. So when this thing moves down, Bitcoin moves up. When this thing moves up, Bitcoin moves down. And you can very easily see that. You know, this is the bear market on Bitcoin, we moved upwards. This is a bull market on Bitcoin, we moved downwards. Bear market on Bitcoin, we moved upwards in the time frames. You know, basically every time this thing moves down, Bitcoin goes up and vice versa. As of right now, we're kind of seeing a pretty major support zone in the DXY. Okay, somewhere around there, $101. And when you see support zones, you generally expect bounces, right? If we do bounce, we could be going upwards, we could be breaking the upside, which could lead to quite bad news for Bitcoin, you know, bearish price action for Bitcoin. So hopefully we can avoid that. Hopefully we can break down. You know, we are in an overall ascending channel structure. So realistically, we should be breaking down at some point. It's just whether it happens now or not. But yeah, DXY doesn't look very good for Bitcoin. That's probably one of the more bearish things in the charts right now, and it's something to keep an eye on. If we break this yellow downtrending line, that's when it starts to really look quite critically bad. But as of right now, it's still in that kind of, you know, gray zone. So we're not really sure what's going to happen there. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Gold doesn't look particularly good either. As you guys know, gold is now correlated to Bitcoin. So if gold goes up, Bitcoin goes up. Gold goes down, Bitcoin goes down. That's generally what the correlation implies. And so right now, gold has a very major resistance line, this top yellow resistance line in this red box as well. And it's just seen a pretty harsh rejection from that zone. You know, big wick to the upside during the banking failure with First Republic Bank a few days ago. And then it's kind of crashed downwards here. That's kind of worrying as well. So it's not to say that there aren't things that are worrying on the charts. There certainly are, but there always are. You know, there always are things that are worrying. You just got to keep an eye on them and monitor them. The point is, the things that don't look good at this point are in infant stages. And so they could develop, they certainly could, or they could just reverse. And when they do develop, we'll definitely talk about it. If they do reverse, we'll definitely just not talk about it because there's no point, right? So, but we're keeping an eye on it for sure. Right? I'm not one to sit here and say, oh, it's bullish, it's bullish, it's bullish, and not take in any other evidence whatsoever. The reason why I've been bullish since December 2022 is because the charts have been bullish since December 2022. There's been no indication of bearishness. Even in this correction here, we didn't break below the critical zones we needed to flip bearish. I was looking at 18.2k. If we cracked below that, would have been bearish again. As of right now, I'm looking at 25.2k. Crack below that, we're bearish again. But right now, I don't think the charts are in that bad of a position. I think, again, there are a few things to watch, such as the DXY, such as gold. But they're in infantile stages, and if those problems do develop and if those dangers do start to emerge from those charts, I will be the first person to talk about it. So you can rest assured on this YouTube channel, I'm giving you a non-biased approach. That's what I do here, guys. I reckon we'll end it off there, guys. We'll talk about the Bitget exchange briefly. This exchange has 5 times lower fees than Binance, one of the cheapest exchanges in the cryptocurrency market. It's optional KYC. You don't have to KYC if you don't want to, which means you don't actually have to link your identity to the exchange, which obviously means you can sign up from anywhere in the world if you wanted to. So go ahead and do that if you're interested. My referral link will be in the description below, and if you sign up using my referral link, not only are you helping the channel, you're also helping yourself because you're getting an extra 15% trading fee discount for life on this exchange, which could easily save you thousands of dollars. So go ahead and do that. If you want to learn how to trade, guys, Crypto Academy Become a Trader course is the place you can do it. This is a course I developed with my close partner in analysis, basically. Mega Well Crypto. He's also got a YouTube channel. Check him out. We developed this course last year. So far, it's been going very well. We've got close to 100 students, and all the information is on the website there. You can find it in the description below. And finally, guys, the VIP group. It's 3 months for 100 USD it's 3 months of membership for 100 USD, about $1 a day, so quite cheap. And then we also have released our 6 months of trading results on the VIP group. Going all the way back from I think September 2022, our trading results, every single trade we've made, every single win and loss, you can see all of our records there, and you can decide whether it's good for you. We trade altcoins there, sub daily, Telegram, check it out, description below. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Today I'm going to be back and I'm going to be talking probably about altcoin season. I don't think we're entering an altcoin season. I think the Bitcoin is in a rally here, but we'll be talking about that tomorrow. It's quite an interesting topic, so I think we should get into it. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.